Hey there. My name is Jason, and I'm 23 years old. I am writing this because, well, let's just say it really makes one think about morality, even in video games. It was 2 years after the release of Fallout 3. By this point in time, I had modded the game all to hell, and essentially got a lot of going on in the game. From super-powered weapons and high-tech armor, to new NPCs and buildings. I had been doing this for a while and decided to make an evil character this time. With the killable children mod installed and all essential NPCs turned off, I could essentially have traveled anywhere and slaughtered anybody I pleased. With little precisions. Sure, the regular would make an appearance every once in a while to tell me what a bastard I was, and how will I pay my crimes. You know, the usual crap you hear in the spewed from this crawls. Like it means a bloody thing. Loved it though. Sometimes I would try to get the drop on the regulators with a sniper rifle or a mini nuke launcher. I was the hunter in the game. Raiders, regulators, children, shopkeepers, you name it. I've hunted and killed it. Sometimes I feel like it was a little boring, so I would handicap myself from time to time to keep it interesting. You know, take on death claws and enclave soldiers, and with only a melee weapon and no armor. Something to that effect. Anyways, it was another Sunday afternoon. Sunday, I do not know why. And I had nothing else to do, and I decided to go to grind trade and killed all the Ronald in Syria and Kinnick all their crap for shit and giggles. I loaded on my shotgun, an assault rifle, a sniper rifle, a combat knife, and I wore a Chinese stealth suit. I decided that would be more enough to thoroughly obliterate those two. I used the fast travel to go outside of the grind shade, and as I approached the boundaries of a small shanty tower, I felt like there was an NPC over by some dead trees and rocks off the distance. I figured it was probably nothing, and even if I was an NPC, it was probably just a trader or random encounter or something like that. I continued on the enter the grind shade, killing Ronald and Syria and stealing some Nuka-Cola stuff I figured I could sell later. I exited Syria's house and looked over where I saw the NPC. The NPC was no longer there, so I decided to wander over there anyways to see what if were still nearby or something. As it hadn't taken me very long to turn Grind Shade into a Nuka-Cola ghost town, I saw nobody there, and was about to turn around, and suddenly a notification popped on my screen. It said, "As you turn away, you notice all the small notes on the ground." The note says, simply 3 words, "Come to Dunwich." I closed the prompt, and I sat in my chair and thought, what that could have possibly been about. I figure it must have been an old quest mod I installed previously and figured it might be fun. Essentially, more people or ghouls to hunt down. I decided to head over to Dunwich building and see what this is all about. As I approached, I decided to play a little bit safe, as if this was a quest mod. I didn't know what enemies would have been lurking around. I took out a sniper rifle and studied the surroundings at it, all looked pretty normal. No NPCs wandering around, no enemies of any sorts. I put my sniper rifle away and decided to use my shotgun, as it was close quarters and there was made it the most sense. I opened the door and entered the building. It all looked pretty normal. At this point, no new ambient music, NPCs. It was just all the same. I started to wander through the building, prepping myself for an encounter with the enemies. In here, mostly feral ghouls, I decided to crouch into stealth mode and wander around to hunt them. As I got further and further into the building, I noticed something. There was no enemies at all, nothing. I exited stealth mode and looked through all the rooms. One by one, there was nothing. I mean, all the stuff was there, but no ghouls. I mean, to wonder if this was part of the mod, that I would run into a new kind of enemy, or there would be tons of enemies deeper into the building. I started to go deeper down. Suddenly I heard a faint whisper coming from the hall, and in the room was a closed door. This probably part of the mod. I figured it could be a horror mod or something. I enjoyed the thought of that. I slowly walked down the hall, readying my shotgun. I got outside the door and opened it to find nothing. There was nothing there. I sat hunched in my chair, scratching my head, wondering what the hell was that about. As I started to walk into the room, I quickly stopped and looked down. There on the ground was a very visible tripwire. This tripwire was different from the other normally found in the game. It looked like a fishing wire, damn near transparent. If I hadn't been alert and paying attention, I would have tripped the wire. I kneeled down and safely disabled the trap. I walked around the corner to see what it would have set off, and my heart stopped. It was a nuke, like one of the megaton. I walked up to it and prompt came up saying there was a note attached to the bomb and said, "Well, you survived the first trap. Kudos. Can you keep going?" I wondered. I stared at the prompt for a while. What What a bloody mess! Hell kind of a mod is this? It was unique, I give it that. But I have seen a mod used in a nuke like that before. I simply shrugged it off as a really overzealous modder and continued on my way. As I got down into the depths of Dunwich building, I found something that was a little comforting. It was one of those notes from the scientist turned ghoul. I picked up and listened to it. It was familiar enough to keep me going. It played out as normal until I noticed that even after the message was supposed to have ended, there was a 15 seconds left on the tape. I wondered what the hell someone could have modded this. When suddenly the tape played, the same goddamn whispering I heard previously from the room upstairs. It got going for 8 seconds, then stopped. Then there was only 3 seconds left. The tape suddenly let out a loud, piercing scream. Like someone's being attacked. I damn near fell out of my chair. After the tape stopped, I got pissed. Really fucking jump scare. That's the best they can come up with. Freaking amateurs. I was just about to leave the room. Then when suddenly outside the door down the hall, I heard footsteps. They were slow but loud and echoed, and they were slowly getting closer. I went down on my shotgun door, waiting to whoever and whatever was outside to open the door and attacked. I figured it was the boss of the quest or some shit. But nothing happened. There was no red blimp on the compass, nothing. Open the door. There was just a shadow outside the door, standing here, doing and saying nothing. I stared at the door for what felt like hours, even though it was a mere second. What the hell was this? What could have coded the AI in a mod this good? I decided I would try something else. I still had some mines I had picked up and decided to use them. I planted them in the front of the door. I entered stealth mode and opened the door. Nothing. There was nothing there at all. I started to get furious. What the hell of a control quest was this? Nothing had happened. All that happened so far was something was fucking with me, and I was getting pretty damn sick of it. At this point, I decided to leave. I went back through the building, and just about to reach the exit, suddenly I heard a footstep, except this time, they weren't slow, they were fast. Something was bolting towards me as a rate that I didn't think NPCs could move in this game. I heard the mines in one of the rooms go off, and the footsteps didn't stop. They just got louder, and as whatever it was got closer, I decided to bail and wait outside with my sniper rifle instead, and catch the prick by surprise. I ran outside of the building, and I stood there watching the hill, waiting for the asshole to come out so he could get shot in the face, repeatedly. I watched and nothing. I sighed. This was stupid. I gave up and decided to fast travel back to Tenpenny Tower. I went inside. There was nobody there. There was no guards, no people, no nothing. I was confused. Did my game severely glitch out something? Why was all this crap happening? I decided I would let my character go upstairs. I would save it and figure it out later. I went into the suite and entered the room. It was dark, very dark. I turned on my Pip-Boy light, and there was a trail of dark liquid on the ground, leading to the modded Parlor. I took out my shotgun and decided to see what the hell this was, and why my game was so screwed up. I walked into the Parlor, and my mouth fell wide open. On the wall, scrawled in blood, and was one word: Hunter. I saw the heads of every single fucking NPC I had ever killed. Every man, every woman, and child. Stacked in pool table. I looked around. There was the corpse of an animal sprawl from the floor. I started out the back of the room when I heard a slight creaking behind me. I spun around. I saw an NPC. It was me, the actual me, except this was Parlor and with darker hair and scowless eyes. He stabbed my character in the gut with a knife, immediately taking my health from full to zero. My character gurgled and thrashing, collapsing in a heap. He looked dead into my character's eyes, as if he was looking at me and said, "How does this feel being the hunted?" To know how they felt right before they ended their existence like there was nothing. This is only a warning next time I come to hunt you. The game suddenly crashed back to the desktop. I stared into silence at my computer monitor before walking over to my fridge, grabbing a whiskey and drinking myself stupid until I passed out. From that day forward, I have never played a game as an evil character again. I always do the good and right thing. I always am helpful and only fight against those who themselves are evil. And every time I think of crossing that line and being evil for a second, I swear, outside my door in the hallway, I can hear footsteps just walking outside, waiting for me to slip up.